Hey everyone, Sean Clement here, Wisdom in Golf, and today we're going to be talking about giving yourself the time to use the ground in your swing. It's called the timing of the swing. So if your swing is improperly timed, it's most likely because when you feel that you're all arms, you know that feel? You're trying to use manipulation to meet the ball. And that invariably is going to put the kibosh on your kinetic chain. So I'm going to show you today, give you a couple of really good solid tips on how to properly engage that kinetic chain, mostly the time to do it. You know, when somebody says, hey, you're swinging too fast, you'll understand why in this video. So before we continue, we would just love for you to be a part of Wisdom in Golf. So please subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment or question down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. And that way everyone can benefit from this valuable information, all right? So let's say you're playing slow pitch softball and you're waiting for the pitch. That slow pitch is fun because you can really tee it up. The key, though, is to focus on where you want to put the ball. So if I want to put that ball over the fence between first and second base, I'm waiting to get that ball right about here. I'm not going to wait till it comes down low over here, and I'm not going to, go early when it's all the way up there. If you don't know where you're going to put the softball, you'll be that strikeout king or queen, okay? So choose where you want to send the ball, wait for that pitch, you see it come down, and you're zooming in or zoning in on where you're going to unleash that sucker. What I find incredible about, MLB, Major League Baseball, is the ability of the batter to read the pitch. And because he can read the pitch, he's giving himself the time and the rhythm to really step into it and sink some teeth into that ball. So how do we do this in the golf swing though? Because if you're using your arms and hands to try and hit the ball hard, you're doing yourself way more damage than good. The brain senses that you're trying to manipulate this club to meet the ball. And when it senses that you're trying to be careful or you're trying to use force, it will brace the body and prevent it from moving. That's not a good thing. So if you imagine a baseball pitcher trying to throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's got to throw 100 of those over the course of the game, well, you're going to see him take a huge range of motion to be able to deliver a powerful pitch with a lot of ease. Same thing here. So I've got a little 9-iron here. It's typically a 160 club for me, but this hole's 146. So it allows me to swing very smoothly. So I get set up. I'm going to feel the weight of my arms and club, and I'm going to use that weight and heave it up the hill. What does that mean? Well, let's say I had a kettlebell and I wanted to, heave this kettlebell with one arm like I was tossing a horseshoe. Well, you'll notice if I take a 10-pound kettlebell and I try to force it with my arm, I'm going to rip my shoulder apart. So instinctively, out of pure self-preservation, you're going to use your legs to heave that kettlebell out there. Now, if I put both hands on the kettlebell and I want to put this thing into action, well, I'm going to have to heave it into the backswing. Notice how I'm using my legs to heave that sucker up there. Watch Bryson DeChambeau. Watch the first move he has in his swing now in the backswing. He stands up. That's exactly what we were built to do. I had a video on this 14 years ago on YouTube. This is what I've been teaching. and I've been up against the establishment of be careful, watch out, keep everything stable, don't change your levels, nip and tuck your swing to death, and then you realize you don't have a swing anymore and you're using a lot of force and effort and you're injuring yourself because of it. We were actually designed to go up and down like pistons beautifully. We're experts at it. So if I take this kettlebell and I'm going to heave it back, then I'm going to heave it through. So notice I got the time to do 2 kinetic chains, 2 heaves, which means I'm using my legs. I'm using ground forces both in the backswing and in the follow through. So I heave and let it levitate, and I'm waiting for it. The scientific term for that is na 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 na. So like Chevy Chase. So it's heave, 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 heave. There's a great way for you to get the feel of that. So then we're doing the same thing. Feel the weight of that arm club unit, and we're going to heave, let it levitate up the rib cage, and we're going to catch it with the squat. Because the brain has to go back to the ground to use the ground to heave it back in that direction there, just like the kettlebell. So it's heave, let it levitate, go back to the ground, heave it back out into the picture. Heave, heave. And you'll notice that the up and down motion is always the same levels, because out of pure self-preservation, your machine would never go into leg lock. That's not very favorable. And it makes it very unstable. If you fall down, break your leg, a couple of 100 years ago when you were alone in the bush, you were in big trouble. So what we're trying to do is heave. Notice how there's still a little flex left in the legs, not for you to think about. This is out of pure self-preservation. And then when the brain goes back down to the ground to load the ground, it'll never go here because that's just not efficient. I wouldn't be able to do that for a sustained amount of time, and it would become very labor intensive for me. So out of longevity, the brain is constantly seeking the path of least resistance. So you're asking it to take this club and heave it out there. Brain's going to go, okay, no problem, here you go. And there it is. So that's why you see these beautiful squats on the PGA Tour and the LPGA. They're using the ground to their advantage. So here we go. Feel the weight of the arm club unit. Heave. Heave it up there. Ooh, that feel good. Right over the flagstick. And this is so absolutely gentle. It feels like, and this is because my kinetic chain is engaging so nicely. That's a nice uphill shot. I'm carrying those at 153 with a lot of ease with a little 9-iron. So, feel the weight of the arm club unit. That's the direction that I'm going on. I'm going to send it out to the right edge of that intermediate point. So it's heave, heave. Does that ever feel awesome? Right back on center line. That was 160 carry. Do you see that beautiful pause at the top of the swing? I didn't try to create that pause. It paused itself. That's me waiting for the club to change directions for me. See how I'm using this? So I could take this and send it into the curtain here. Heave it out there. Heave, heave. See, my brain knew exactly when to let go of that club, and I was using my legs to deliver that out there. So there's a fantastic timing mechanism, just like when you're a kid on a swing. You're reacting to your weight, and you know exactly when to pump that swing. So it's up, and you're waiting, and then you're getting ready on the way down, and then as you're coming through the bottom, you push off the swing set and it turbocharges you back up the other side. If you want to see something really cool, check out this. The pronunciation's a little weird, but it's out in the Slovak countries. Kiiking, Kiiking, Kiing, Kiiking. So it is on a, standing up on a swing and doing loop-de-loops on that sucker. It's so much fun. I'd love to try that. So feel the weight of the arm club unit. Heave, let it levitate. Heave into the picture. Actually had time to work that out verbally. Here we go. Heave and heave. Look at that. Man, landed right on the line. Hope you enjoyed that. Now notice I never mishit one. Didn't hit it thin. They were all flush in the center of the face. They all felt compressed up against that club face. And notice the change in levels. Don't be afraid of that. You are built for it. You just need to be focused in the right direction. So if you're going to go heave, let it levitate, hit the ball, that's not going to work very well. But if you go heave, levitate, throw the club out there, so look at all our throwing the club Sean Clement videos, and you'll really see how you were built. When you're going that way, the brain knows when to load, how much to maintain it, how much to clear the hips, and when to unload if you're going that way. If you're going that way, it will unload early extension. Right? There you have it, guys. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this important information. You know you're going to get the goods here at Wisdom in Golf. We'll see you in the next one. All the best.